At the dizzying height of the real estate boom, Austin Spriggs had the equivalent of a golden lottery ticket, a downtown Washington townhouse on precisely the red-hot block where developers hoped to build hundreds of swanky condominiums and offices. Developers paraded in and out of his office, offering Spriggs millions for the building that had housed his small architecture firm since 1980. Each time, Spriggs told them no and held out for more money. Then, as offers dried up, he vowed to turn the place into a pizzeria that would feed newcomers to this once-forgotten strip along Massachusetts Avenue, east of the Washington Convention Center. At a time when mountains of cash were being made in real estate, Spriggs' resistance became the talk of Washington and beyond. 4 years later, the block-long crater that surrounded Spriggs' building was occupied by glass, steel and brick towers. The pizzeria never opened. After his bank threatened foreclosure, Spriggs put the property up for sale for $1.5 million, nearly half of what one developer had once hoped to pay him. He eventually sold the house in 2011, for $750,000. At first glance, this house looks like it might have been in the middle of a massive explosion, yet is somehow still standing. But the 3-story building in Yigeng, Hubei Province is in the middle of a construction site of a high-tech industrial park and has fallen victim to China's rapid urban development. The lone house, surrounded by piles of dirt left by the ongoing construction, belongs to a man with the surname Yang, who has refused to move during a 2-year battle with the local government. In 2012, Mr. Yang was unable to agree a relocation compensation amount with the authorities, and the developer subsequently cut off his water and electricity. Both Mr. Yang and his family left the home briefly to move into rented accommodations while his daughter-in-law gave birth. Due to economic reasons, they have since moved back. They are forced to collect water from a river more than a kilometer away. For light, they resort to using candles and lamps. In 2015, construction workers were forced to build a $15 million road around 2 apartment blocks in China after several families refused to move. The embarrassing rebuke by the 10 households forced developers to curve the major new route around the properties in the city of Yongjia, in eastern China's Zhejiang province. Officials launched the multi-million-dollar blueprint to much fanfare, saying the new 10-mile provincial road would provide a fast and efficient route between the city and 19 surrounding villages. The homeowners say they are happy to move, but only if they are offered a fair price so they can afford a new property and be compensated for the inconvenience of leaving homes where they were perfectly happy. In the Ballard neighborhood of Seattle, there's a huge shopping mall with a strange hole in the center of the building. Inside that gap sits a tiny house with an amazing story that some say inspired Pixar's Up. At 84 years old, McField saw the quirky, quiet neighborhood of Ballard becoming more and more gentrified. Old houses were being replaced with boutique shops and diners replaced with condos. When developers came knocking on her little 2-story home's door with plans to bulldoze it and the surroundings and build a shopping mall, she refused to sell, even after they offered her $1 million. The developers had no choice but to build around her, and as they did, she formed an unlikely friendship with the construction chief, Barry Martin. He found himself looking after Edith, picking up her medications, groceries, and even bonding with the stubborn woman. When he noticed that Edith didn't seem to keep any weight on, it was he who drove her to the hospital and sat with her when it was discovered that she had pancreatic cancer. When Edith passed away at 87, she had done something completely unexpected. she had willed her home to Barry. Currently, the 1,550 square foot house is now listed by local real estate agent Paul Thomas without an asking price. It has the potential to be used as a house, office, museum or as an addition to the Ballard Blocks retail complex surrounding it. Whether or not the tiny house was the true inspiration for Up is debatable, but Edith McField's story has left an inspiring legacy all on its own. She has become something of a folk hero, inspiring locals to get to tours of the small house. Even a music festival has sprung up around her act of defiance. A lone apartment building stands in the middle of a newly built road after an elderly couple refused to relocate. Liu Obergen and his wife insisted on living in the half-demolished building in the city of Wenling, in Zhejiang province, China, because they believed that the relocation compensation offered by the government was not enough. Now the only building left standing, the 5-story block, is a strange sight as cars drive around it while the couple remain living inside. To ensure the couple's safety, adjacent rooms in the building have been left intact, but all their neighbors have moved out, according to local media. The road paved through the Xiaohangyang village leads to the Wenling railway station and was opened in 2012. In the People's Republic of China, during most of the communist era, private ownership of property was abolished, making it easy for residents to be moved, but now the laws have been tightened up and it is illegal to demolish property by force without an agreement.